So today I want to talk about the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now I've been a big iPhone person since the iPhone 7 Plus. I've always loved the bigger display and the bigger battery, and really I haven't looked back since. And my love for bigger iPhones really culminated with the iPhone 11 Pro Max. That was such a fantastic phone. It looked good, it felt good, and man, it had battery life that could go for days. So I was super excited to get my hands on the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, thinking that it would be even better. But 1 month later, I did a really unexpected thing, and I ended up returning it. Now a couple days ago, I posted a poll on my YouTube community tab asking you guys which 2020 iPhone you guys thought was the best, and an overwhelming majority chose the iPhone 12 Pro Max as their absolute favorite. So that ultimately begs the question, do I regret returning this gorgeous, very liked phone? Well, it's complicated, and let me get into it. So the first reason why I returned the iPhone 12 Pro Max is because of its size and its form factor. Now that might sound weird because I had no issue with the 11 Pro Max, and honestly the differences here are pretty minimal. The 12 Pro Max is just slightly taller and a little bit wider, nothing that I thought would make a difference in terms of ergonomics, and I thought it would be awesome to have this bigger, more immersive screen. But ironically, the main reason why the iPhone 12 Pro Max turned out to be an uncomfortable phone is because of one of its most anticipated new features, the updated form factor. No doubt the flat frame was a welcome change of pace from the years of rounded sides, and from an aesthetic standpoint, the new 2020 iPhones looked way more refined than past models. And really, that flat frame design works to the advantage of the smaller iPhones. The regular 12, the 12 Pro, and the 12 mini all feel fantastic in the hand, so I assumed that it would feel great on the 12 Pro Max too. But when I finally got it didn't take too long to realize a couple things. First, because the phone is wider, when you're gripping it with one hand, it doesn't wrap around your fingers as naturally as it would on a rounded frame, which ultimately leads to gripping it tighter by instinct, and the flat frame starts digging into your palms, and it's just not that comfortable. I realize now the reason why Apple used rounded edges for such a long time. Your fingers can way more comfortably wrap around it when holding a large heavy phone, making it way easier to handle, especially over extended periods of time. Now I don't want to give off the impression that this is a completely flawed design. It's an inconvenience at best, but to me it was noticeably different from the other Max variants of iPhones that I've used in the past. Now the second reason why I returned the iPhone 12 Pro Max is because I didn't feel as though it had a strong value proposition. This is the most expensive 2020 iPhone variant, and when you really think about it, there's not much more you're getting in comparison to the other cheaper options. There's no Max specific features or add-ons, no additional hardware like the S Pen to the Galaxy Note, and virtually no difference in terms of navigating around iOS, even with the additional screen real estate. Okay, let's just keep it real here for a second. The iPhone 12 Pro Max is basically just a blown up iPhone experience, and that's pretty much it. I really would have loved to have seen Apple make some dedicated changes that makes use of this larger display, much like they did when they launched iPadOS, but there's nothing like that here. Now Apple tried really hard to differentiate the 12 Pro Max by touting the largest sensor on the main camera that supposedly can take better shots in low light conditions and give you more stabilized footage using that sensor shift stabilization or whatever you call it. But after doing some comprehensive testing with all the other 2020 iPhones, I found no significant difference in terms of image quality, even in low light conditions. Plus, Apple's stabilization without sensor shift is so good, it didn't really make a noticeable difference when it came to day-to-day use. Overall, whatever additional features Apple was trying to push as reasons to go with the 12 Pro Max honestly didn't pan out much at all, which is pretty disappointing. Now, it could be argued that the two inherent features associated with any Max variant phone would indeed make it the best, and of course here I'm referring to the bigger display and the bigger battery. Now when it comes to battery life, don't get me wrong, it's good on the 12 Pro Max. I could easily get through a full day of moderate use, and was getting around 7.5 hours of screen on time on a full charge, but I'm a firm believer that the battery life on the 11 Pro Max was way better. I would have to actively try and drain the battery in one day on that phone, and even though that is a very high bar to pass, the 12 Pro Max kinda left me a bit underwhelmed in this area. Now when it comes to display size, I do kind of miss having a larger display. I'm just so used to it, and I think my brain has been tricked into thinking that bigger equates to better. Plus, my phone is my primary content consumption device, so watching videos and playing games is going to be more ideal on a larger panel, but display size alone isn't enough when it comes to phone design, otherwise I'd just carry around my iPad everywhere I went. And because I use my phone so much, over time the 12 Pro Max just became way too cumbersome in comparison to what I was used to. Now again, I don't want to give off the impression that it was unbearable or something extreme, but considering how much I use my phone, ergonomics and usability is a huge thing. And that really leads me to the main reason why I returned the 12 Pro Max, It's because of the regular 12 Pro. It has the same fantastic build material, but it's way easier to use, and the new design actually works towards making it more comfortable, and you really don't lose much in terms of getting an immersive user experience. So at the end of the day, do I regret returning the iPhone 12 Pro Max? The short answer is no. I've kind of embraced this new right-size form factor, and I really feel as though it gives me the best of both worlds. A comfortable phone that I could use for extended periods of time, as well as a super enjoyable user experience. But in a weird way, one of the realizations that I came to when I was putting this video together is that I don't think I missed the 12 Pro Max. I think I missed the 11 Pro Max like a lot. I never had any comfort issues with that phone. It was absolutely gorgeous, and the battery life was just, so good. I'm not sure if Apple sells it anymore, but I think I would recommend that phone over the newer 12 Pro Max. In retrospect, it'll likely go down as one of the best iPhones I've ever had. But that's about it for this short review. I'm curious, if you're a part of that group that selected the iPhone 12 Pro Max as your favorite 2020 iPhone, let me know in the comments why. Also, check out these reviews of the 12 Pro and the 12 Mini if you're looking for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.